Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and thanks to the Honourable Member for Hull North for securing this debate, not least to be surrounded by so many Northerners. The 1980s Thatcherite initiative of bus deregulation and privatisation has been an unmitigated disaster for my constituents in North West Durham. The model introduced competition between private companies because they wrongly thought it would increase the range and regularity of services, but it has done the absolute opposite. Privatisation, taken alongside the 30% plus bus funding cuts to my local authority and 18% overall transport funding cut in the region, means that my constituents are paying more than other areas of the country, waiting longer and enduring ridiculous travel times just to get a few miles down the road. Added to this, Concert has been ill-served by central government transport cuts and neglect of the region. It's one of the largest towns in Britain without a train station and has inadequate road infrastructure, many of which are single carriageways and in dire need of repair. But in particular, the situation with buses is most pressing. I never thought I would get so obsessed with buses. One constituent who lives in Stanley Croup got a job in Concert, only 13 miles away, but it would take him more than 2 hours and 20 minutes to get there by public transport. Down here, I can get to work for £3 return. I've never had to run for a bus or wait for very much time. One of my team who works in my Concert office has to pay £6.20 to get from Durham, more than double to get his place of work than for me. Many in the constituency, it costs them more than £7 a day to get to Newcastle. There are my constituents in Weardale, many of whom could get to London quicker than they could get to their nearest cities. One bus in Weardale operates on a Tuesday to Newcastle, but if you miss a return bus, you have to wait 3 days for another return to the Dale. For many parts of my constituency, you can't get a bus after 8 p.m. on a Sunday, on a bank holiday Monday, and there are many older people having to struggle getting up hills with their shopping or use taxis, rendering their bus passes completely meaningless.
Would the Minister be surprised to learn that the same operators who are operating in my honourable friend's constituency and in my constituency are making twice as much profits as they are in London, but we're not allowed to regulate our buses?
We are not asking for much more than London already has, so I agree with my honourable friend. And I want to make this point because I don't want to politically sanitise this debate. I think transport and public transport is immensely political. I also think that it is a class issue because the people using the services in my constituency are not the type of people that are hiding away millions in offshore trusts. They are hard-working people, many of them on the minimum wage, having to spend hundreds of hours instead of leisure time travelling to work or their place of study and paying proportionately so much more for the pleasure. There is no such thing as the Northern Powerhouse. It's a fallacy constructed by this government to divert people's attentions away from the grave inequalities of our region's funding. And there will be no resurgence of the North East post-industrial towns, including those in my own constituency, if it's not backed up with funding and a shifting of priorities of this government about what my constituents should expect from the service. Does the government think that we are somehow second-class citizens who, we're used to that kind of poor transport, we're used to not being connected, and therefore we can just be ignored? Because we always seem to be second, we always seem to have the older stock, we always seem to get less than other parts of this region. Local authorities must be able to have an area-based strategy which sets out the routes, prices and frequency of buses, so local people are not at the behest of profits of private companies who will only fund the most profitable routes. How can the government justify the £1,943 that other members have mentioned being spent per person in London on current or planned projects compared with just £222 in the North East? How can this possibly be justified? The people of Weardale, Croup and Concert and all of the other areas in my constituency deserve much better.